There's a certain type of person who, when everyone around them is screaming about football, sits quietly and feels like something is wrong with them. But psychological science says something completely different. The fact that you don't watch football isn't a flaw. It's a sign of a type of thinking that society often misunderstands. And today, we're going to talk about 4 psychological types hidden behind that choice, and why each one reveals something profound about how you see the world. In psychology, there's a concept called value dissonance. It's when society finds joy in something that your brain simply doesn't respond to. And that's not rebellion, that's self-awareness. Think about it this way. Every person's brain is wired differently. What creates dopamine for one person may have absolutely no effect on another. And with football, there are people whose brains simply don't connect. They're not wrong. Society isn't wrong. They're just made a different way. And when you understand this, you'll see that people who don't watch football usually fall into one of 4 psychological groups. Each group has its own story, its own way of seeing life. So, which one are you? The first group, they don't hate football. They simply cannot feel what others feel when watching it. Their brains aren't wired for vicarious emotion, the ability to feel excitement through someone else's success. They get dopamine from personal progress, not from spectacle. So when everyone is cheering for a goal, they're thinking, why should I care about people I don't even know? Sounds cold, doesn't it? But it's really not. These are people who'd rather learn a new language than watch someone else score. They prefer the feeling of daily progress in a skill over the fleeting excitement when a favorite team wins. Psychology calls this low external validation needs and high self-determination. They don't seek belonging through shared emotions. They find meaning through self-improvement. And that doesn't make them cold. It just makes them independent. They're people who believe that in this life, the only thing you truly control is your own growth. The second group, they don't hate football, they just don't need it. Their excitement is elsewhere. Cars, games, music, movies, anything that stimulates their curiosity and emotions more than a ball on grass. For them, this isn't about being different. It's about how their reward system operates. Psychology calls this diversified stimulation patterns. Their brains get dopamine from variety and personal relevance. They enjoy experiences where they can interact, analyze, or feel a story. Football to them feels repetitive, predictable. 22 people chasing a ball this week just like last week. But a new car design, a good film with layers of meaning, a complex game they have to decode, that gives their brain 3 things at once: novelty, mastery, and connection. When people are screaming about a goal, they're excited because they just beat a difficult level in a game, or just understood a hidden detail in a film, or just completed a song they've been practicing. It's not that they lack passion, they just direct it toward worlds that feel alive to them. But then there's another group. I once talked to someone. He told me something I'll never forget. He said, I used to watch football too. Every weekend, I'd sit with friends, drink beer, scream, felt like I was part of something big. Then one night, I was sitting in a cafe watching people scream because their team lost. They slammed tables, they cursed, they were disappointed as if their whole life had just collapsed. Then I thought, my life is losing every day. My job isn't going anywhere, my relationship is falling apart, my dreams are fading, and no one's screaming for me. From then on, I stopped watching. Not because I hate football, but because I realized I need to save that energy for myself. And that's when I understood. Sometimes not watching football isn't about the game. It's about you seeing your life through a different lens, a lens where time is precious and emotions are limited. The third group, they used to believe. They used to watch every match, but at some point they saw through it. The money, the marketing, the idolization of players, people making millions of dollars while their fans struggle to pay rent. This group experiences what psychology calls existential detachment. That's when entertainment no longer feels meaningful because it lacks real growth, lacks purpose. They realize the cheering won't solve their problems, celebrating for strangers won't fill the emptiness inside them. So they stepped back, not out of arrogance, but out of awareness. And within this group, there are those who are even more practical. They say,
Why should I watch millionaires kick a ball while I'm unemployed, while I'm stuck? It just makes me feel worse. For them, football isn't an escape, it's a reminder of the gap between their dreams and current reality, a reminder that while they're watching, their life is still there, waiting for them to do something with it. That's not bitterness, that's psychological honesty. They see the world through a lens of practicality and emotional self-protection. Why invest in something that gives nothing back? They're not numb, they're just tired of illusions. Then there's the fourth group, the deepest one. These are people whose brains always ask, why? They can't enjoy anything without understanding its deeper meaning. With football, they see 22 people chasing a ball, millions of people cheering. Then what? Does life change? Does the world get better? Psychology calls this teleological thinking. They need to see the ultimate purpose, the connection to real life. It's not that they're smarter, they just have a higher need for meaning. And when something doesn't meet that need, their brain simply shuts off. No connection, no emotional investment. But there's another layer to this group. They also need a sense of control. When you watch football, you're an outsider. You can't influence the outcome. You can only hope and be disappointed. For those with high internal locus of control, this creates deep anxiety. They prefer to invest time in what they can shape, learning a skill, building a project, developing themselves, things where the outcome depends on their effort, not on the luck or talent of others. That's not cold calculation. That's how the brain seeks safety through mastering one's own life. Because if you can't control the outcome, why let your emotions depend on it? For them, it's not logic. It's survival instinct. They don't judge people who love football. They just can't find a reason to care. And now you understand. When you don't watch football, you're not just standing outside a game. You're standing outside an invisible pressure that society places on you. Psychology calls this social identity threat. Because football in many places isn't just entertainment, it's a collective ritual. It's how people connect. And when you don't participate, you're sending a signal, whether you mean to or not, that you don't belong. And the human brain, our brains, are programmed to belong somewhere. So when you stand alone, the mind has to find ways to protect self-esteem. Some rationalize, I have more important things. Some find other communities where they're understood. Some accept that loneliness as part of their personality. This isn't arrogance. This is how the mind survives when standing outside the common flow. And once you understand this, you'll see that people who don't watch football aren't weird. They're not broken. They're not lacking anything. They're just navigating life in their own way, according to their own values, according to a map that only they can read. So maybe you don't watch football because you're lazy, or maybe you're just one of the few people who dare to live true to what you actually value. Because in a world where everyone is chasing what they should like, there's a kind of courage when you choose what you truly like. When your energy is focused on building, learning, and creating, it's hard to get excited about watching someone else's story. And that's okay, because this life is short, time is limited, and your emotions, they're precious. So why spend them on things that don't make you feel alive? Which one are you? The self-focused thinker who finds meaning through personal growth? The redirected mind who finds passion elsewhere? The disillusioned observer or the honest realist who is seen through the illusion? Or the meaning seeker and control needer who needs deeper purpose? Or maybe you're a combination of all. Leave me a comment and let me know. I'm genuinely curious, because every story, every person has their own reason, and your reason, it matters. If this video made you see yourself in a new way, hit subscribe. We'll go deeper every day. Talk about things few dare to talk about. Like the video so more people can find themselves in here too, because there are millions of people who feel just like you. They just don't have the words to express it yet. Not through short comments, but through real conversations. Remember, this isn't just a YouTube channel. This is a place for people who dare to live differently. For people who dare to stand outside the flow. For people who know that not fitting in doesn't mean you're wrong. Sometimes it just means you're going in the right direction. See you in the next video.